Welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe and let's party. So we got to chat, guys. We got to chat. I'm sure that if you care, you definitely know, you've definitely heard that Fresh and Fit have been demonetized. Shout out to Amanda in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Said if the Manosphere evolves, it could actually be useful to young men or actual self-improvement and the community involvement. It has a future. So I do have a poll up right now for the live viewers. If you're watching this after, just let me know in the comments below. Do you think the Manosphere has a future? That is what I want to discuss with you guys because I really don't know. And we're not really, depending on how long we're here, we might get into some videos, but I kind of just wanted to sit down and talk to you. Because I've talked a lot about how I was, the typical rom-com Disney blue pill beta dude until I found the Manosphere. My life. It drastically improved my ability to understand my standing in life. And therefore, I didn't feel like I was entitled to, have the perfect woman who was going to this, that, and whatever. That, okay, all right, I don't have a lot of money. That matters. Okay, I'm not, I could use some work in the gym. Okay, understanding these things very, very, very much helped me. But, Morty wants to come up. We got a co-host today. Come here. You can't do that, bro. Yeah, there we go. Shout out to Morty. Every single super chat and donation gets a treat for Morty. But anyway, so back when it was just me and Morty and, I'd gone through my last relationship and I, just did everything wrong. I didn't maintain frame. I ignored red flags, all this kind of stuff. And it, got my heart broken. And then that's, I don't even remember what I was searching for, but I found, I think it was Kevin Samuels who I found first. But certainly the sensationalized show that was Fresh and Fit obviously spoke to me. And I spent a lot of time watching a lot of different stuff in the space. And I was just as new to it and green as anybody who's going to jump into this world. And I don't like admitting it. A few of you may already know, but I did actually call in and pay for a consultation with Myron from Fresh and Fit. I was one of those guys. I was simping for the men. Like, what are we doing? And so I call. It was $300, and it was supposed to be a 1-hour Zoom call. And so I'm anticipating going to him and being like, hey, look, I get it. I'm not the guy that I need to be. You seem to be the person who can tell me this is what it is. So let's do it. And I guess it was when they were, really building up the studio. So I hear all this construction going on, and it was not a Zoom call. It was a phone call. And he's like, oh, yeah. Wait, what did you just say? And, he clearly was not paying attention to me at all. And basically, the 30-minute phone call that was supposed to be a 1-hour Zoom call ended up with him just being like, "Oh, you're an F slur. Like, you just gotta do better, man. You gotta do better." I'm like, "Yeah, I know that. That's why I paid to call you, to talk to you, to figure out how to do that." So, needless to say, that really, really, really turned me off of Fresh and Fit because I saw that despite the fact that there was a lot of information that I could grab from them to improve my life, they were not looking to improve anybody's life except their own. And so, this was before I was a YouTuber. This was before I was doing anything. I was just some dude. I'm still just some dude, but you know what I mean? And every morning, what I would do is just wake up, turn on YouTube, and whatever Kevin Samuels had said from the night before, that is how I started my day for until he passed away, unfortunately. And I titled this "The Day the Manosphere Died," with the intention of people assuming that with Fresh and Fit being demonetized, that's the day the Manosphere died. I think I should have looked this up before. I don't remember exactly the date of Kevin Samuels' death, but the day that Kevin Samuels died is the day that the Manosphere died. Real quick, let's shout out Xander Crew. Welcome to the party. So the Manosphere is needed in this feminized society. Yes, there are extremes that are toxic, but that can be said about any field. Very true. But I am what I don't necessarily agree about putting the manosphere in this sentence. I think red pill ideology or the awareness of dating and women and modern female nature absolutely is needed in this feminized society. But I don't think we need this manosphere. I think that is just a collection of the worst of people trying to combat that. And the most toxic are the ones that get pushed to the top. Shout out to Daniel Cabrera, said, I don't think so. About does the manosphere have a future? I don't think so. All of this stuff that's become making fun of uneducated women who don't fully understand the arguments they're attempting to make. Dan goes on to say, especially after somebody's gotten them drunk or such, it's unfair. They're punching down. Sure, it was making you money for a while, but people got tired. And exactly, I was hurt after that relationship. And I wanted to see, just any woman who was having a good time in life get put down. I mean, I'm willing to admit it. I wanted to see that for a while because I was hurt and that helped me heal. But then what? And so I see sometimes, shout out to Nicholas. Welcome to the building. Good to see you. You could see the polarizing nature of there's two types of people who could watch Fresh and Fit. There's those of us who are probably in this group where we watch it, we kind of, all right, I see what this is. It's fun for a little while. Dumb drunk girl. And then we move on. Right. And then there's the men who actually really genuinely need the red pill information, who get sucked in to the sensationalized theater of it all. And it defeats the entire purpose. And so I disagree, Xander, about, the manosphere is needed. I think awareness of female nature is needed. And I mean, I just don't understand how it got so bad so quickly. In fact, I guess I do understand. It's very clear. When you look at the difference between what Kevin Samuels was doing and what anybody else in the red pill space was doing, it was Kevin and everybody else. When you talk about everybody else, yeah, you could say this person's a little better than that, but it was Kevin and it was everybody else. That's all it was. Xander says Fresh and Fit are an example of toxic, corrupt male ideology. But when they are the top red pill creators, then even if most of the people who are going to follow them are level-headed, the nature of, this is how we should, one, be successful as a YouTuber, and two, be successful as men, it's just not good. It's just not good for society. It's not good for men. Like I said, it's not good for anybody except for Fresh and Fit. What part of California? What are you talking about? What? And so I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to drop the link. I'm not really sure what, I have a couple videos if we want to go through them. I'd love to talk to you guys. So I'm going to drop the link here. I can't pin it because we got the poll open. But if you I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. I don't think that we need a manosphere. I don't think that we need a red pill community. I think that we just need a culture of men who understand these things, a culture of men who talk to each other, a culture where it's okay to point out that women aren't perfect. That is what I think that we need. And I don't think that we need, figureheads in order for that to happen. I think naturally those figureheads will emerge. I think naturally we will organize ourselves into a community. But I don't think that we need to stick to this club that has been so bastardized. And like I said, it was the day that Kevin Samuels died. It was just on a sheer downput. And I mean, it was okay for a time when Andrew Tate kind of became the new figurehead. But he was also, very toxic. And even though I do think that he has a much better understanding of these things than a Myron or a Walter, then clearly he has his issues. And even if he kind of cleaned up his the way that he spoke, obviously having these charges over his head was not good either. So now we're all in a position where we're like, Loverboy's not that bad, right? And it's like, I don't know if that is the best thing. I don't want to be in the position where I feel like I have to step up for a sex trafficker. If that is what he is, that doesn't mean that he hasn't said a lot of things that have really directly improved my life, but it is what it is. Xander said the benevolent manosphere guides, not the selfish, superficial sides. Yeah, I mean, that's really what we need. But again, I don't think that we need it to be a community. And I'm hesitant to bring up, the other community that I think kind of sabotages itself, because I think that's another conversation. But the what do you guys think about that? The notion that this adherence to the group, it arrests the ability for us to step outside of what is red pill. And so you see people like the lead attorney call himself purple pill, because he's in favor of marriage. He wants to be married. He loves women. That's me too. Like, yeah, I was angry. We all heard red pill rage. Everybody's been mad when they got out of a relationship. But I just, the further and further and further and further I've gotten away from all of this, it just seems like, while I am extremely glad that I found the information, I don't know that having this type of community is good for men. I don't think that's the case. And I mean, if anybody has a reason as to why we do need a specific community, and not just, okay, now that the red pill community has come and gone, now these things about hypergamy and all these things, this is just part of what we understand about dating now. Why what do we need another Fresh and Fit for? Please explain it to me, because I don't get it. I don't know if I'm gonna be here 30 minutes. I don't got that much to say, but so okay, let's just do this. I really don't want to be on too long, because I mean, yeah, I'm not going to turn this into a whole thing, because I honestly, there's, everybody is talking about this. And so, if you want to look at the clips of this and that, I mean, okay, we'll do this. Well, if you didn't see the actual moment where he teared up and whatever, this is actually shout out to the lead attorney. He put out a really good video about this, and he has some good clips here. So let's just
saving children, right? That was great, but saving you guys is better.
Beta.
Who believes that's real? Who believes that's real? I don't believe for a second that, first of all, if you're actually a Tim Ballard type dude out here saving sex trafficked children, you would rather save grown men who kind of just don't really have it than children who are being SA'd like that? I don't even know if I like that idea to begin with. Shout out to Unwanted Foe. Thank you for the $5 super chat for my boy Morty right here. All right, where am I? I'm always backed up. All right, here, look. There we go. Yeah, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. Thank you. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. And this isn't a typical stream, so we're gonna keep it a little truncated, but thank you. I very, very, very much appreciate that. Shout out to Ayush Gupta. Welcome to the party. Said, not me. What? You gotta be more specific. Not me that you think there's gonna be a future, or not me that what I'm saying. Nick says we might need it until women are aware that they have to do their part as well. Not sure though. Interesting thought, but the problem I have with that is that I don't know that we are ever going to get women there. I don't know that that's a realistic goal. I don't know that is, I mean, even within red pill ideology, the goal is never to get the women to understand that they're doing this, that, and the other. That's their game. That's what they do. That's exactly what they, should be doing based on, what they want. And the fact of the matter is, if you were a woman and men were out here just simping for you, why wouldn't you take advantage of it? Why wouldn't you take advantage of it? Now, maybe you are some amazing sweetheart, and you can see that that's not good for society in general, and so on and so forth. But how many 20-year-old girls are really thinking that way? So I mean, it's just I don't know. Shout out to Indie Film. Doesn't know what day it is. It is not a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern when I always go live. But we had something special, so I definitely had to come on and talk to you guys. I did drop the link if anybody wants to come up and give their thoughts. I would really, really, really love to hear from you. Oh, my goodness. Shout out to the one, the only, Dr. Evil Genius. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party with a $10 super chat. Before we get to that, we, of course, got to get Morty his treat. He says, thank you, thank you, thank you. What does Dr. Evil Genius say? So the frauds in Florida isn't the Manosphere. They're just at the toxic end of the spectrum. They're not done just demonetized on YouTube. Life goes on. And that's a great point. So they're not done. It's not like they're being evaporated. It's not like they're canceled or anything. They're still going to be there, but and I mean, they had really already moved to Rumble and everything. But I don't know who is the Manosphere if not them. I understand, I mean, Dr. Evil and I have spoken at length about how much we despise, as he calls them, the frauds in Florida are fresh and fit. And maybe despise is a strong word, but just how bad for the culture it really is. But who is the Manosphere then? Who are these people that are pushing for family values and teaching men how to do this, that are part of this group? I'm not saying that there's not men out there. I'm not saying that there are not creators who do that. But if you think about somebody like an Alexander Grace, I forget, somebody brought him up. Maybe it was Indie Film. I apologize who it was, but okay, so fair enough. Despise it is. And so yeah, there's definitely people out there. And then even if, speaking of Dr. Evil Genius and over at the Talking Shit podcast, him and Captain Paul, over here we talk about this type of stuff. And even the lead attorney, like I said, is very red pilled in their thinking. But even the lead attorney himself, a divorce attorney, who's going to come in and say, no, you should not. If you are a man, it may very likely not make sense for you to fight for your children in court, because despite the fact that the statistics read out that you are more likely to get your children if you fight for them, that you shouldn't do it because the likelihood of that actually happening is low. And that is why most men don't. So these things are things that we need to know. Absolutely. Do we need a club? Do we need a club? Do we need a community for it? And I say no. I don't think so at all. And so let's just go through this, because I thought the lead attorney did an amazing job at kind of putting his thoughts on it. And I don't 100% agree with what he said, so I'll give my thoughts. But let's check this out. He did. Shout out to lead attorney. He's just a real one. Yeah, really. Does anybody believe that was real?
Lead attorney.
I loved saving sex trafficking kids, but talking to you guys was better. Why? Because it made money?
Hell yeah.
Come on, bro. Daniel says, dude, that whole story. He spit about how he was working for Homeland Security, and they found IssueTube and made him give it up for YouTube. That was trash, man. It might be true somehow, but that was too much. Yeah, I mean, I don't see the value. I don't see the value anymore. And speaking of the lead attorney, one of his big things, if you take his live streaming course, which for a long time, because of that call with Byron, I was not willing to put out money to somebody who was saying these things, because I didn't trust anybody. I thought maybe I'm just gonna, get screwed over again. But shout out to the lead attorney. His live streaming course is awesome, and you definitely should pay for it. But one of his big things in the whole course is providing value. If you're not providing a value, what are you doing? What are you doing? Shout out to the CEO. Welcome to the party. To Jesus reincarnated as Indian here and in the flesh. Welcome to the party. So let's go. We got 10 votes. We got a full 10 votes here on our poll. Again, replay gang, let me know in the comments. Does the Manosphere have a future? We got 11 votes. So we just split it 54 to 45%. So you guys are clearly split on this stuff. And I mean, it's not as simple as just, they're not making money on YouTube, and now so the whole community is going to disappear. That's not how it's going to work. It's going to be up to us. The guys who have gone through our red pill rage, who have gone through our beta stage, found the red pill, went through red pill rage, got over red pill rage, and now are living as normal dudes who understand female nature, who understand the red pill tenets, but don't have to go around and be, oh, I'm an alpha, I'm an this, I gotta go talk about, 95 and this and that, and da 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 da. I don't need that. Do any of you feel like that you need to be that outspoken about this stuff, or is it just something that you should know just moving through life? But again, let's see. Let's just go through this rather quickly, because I really do think that Lee Attorney did a great job in delivering this.
Here, people wanted me to react to this. Now, why is that? Fresh and Fit doesn't really care for me too much.
What do you guys think about the lead attorney?
No comment.
X.
Yep.
Hell no.
People.
And that's red flag number one. Number one. There's nothing this man has done except give out free information that would cost thousands of dollars and care about people.
People want to know if I'm happy about what has happened to their channel. They want to know if I'm going to take a victory lap. Well, I am not happy, and this video will not be a victory lap. For those who don't.
Same here. This is not about being like, oh yeah, I knew it. I used to be about them, and then I said, screw you, and now they're all in them. Da, 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 da. No, that's not what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is taking a retrospective of like, okay, now that this has happened, let's look back at I need the date here. I feel I definitely should have. When did Kevin Samuels? So May 5th, 2022. May 5th, 2022. So that is just over 2 years ago. So in 2.5 years, we went from a community that I was not only happy to be a part of, but proud to say that I was with it. Dr. Evil Genius says, got to go back to the gym. Already watched this. I knew you would have. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for actually guiding me through a lot of this space. I have to say, Dr. Evil Genius is one of the people that helped me realize that I don't need to have all of this content in such a condensed way. That it's just part of life. It's just another thing. The same way you learn how to use editing software when you become a YouTuber. When you grow up and be a man, you learn how to be a man. That's it. And I mean, shout out once again. Thank you so much, brother. Such a huge part of my development, both as a YouTuber and as a man. All right, let's get back into it. But yeah, definitely not a victory lap. I'm not in favor of censoring people. I'm not in favor of asking for the downfall of people. That's not what I'm about. But it has absolutely given me reason to look back and see what's happened since May 5th, 2022. Has it been going well for men? Has men's content been received well? Whether by the men themselves or the people who are on the receiving end, whether that be parents, sisters, girlfriends, wives, is that good? Because that's what I want. I want everybody to be happy. At least as happy as we could be.
Don't know, Fresh and Fit's channel was just demonetized yesterday. Now, Abba from Abba and Preach had predicted this over a month ago.
If you're proud of this, congratulations, brother. You played yourself. I don't think there's much to be said. I wouldn't be surprised if the YouTube channel gets deleted.
Everybody realized it was just a matter of time when you had that tall guy sitting there in the Ku Klux hood.
I mean, come on, bro. What are you doing? And I mean, like, Sneako is a big part of this whole story arc. The only reason that Sneako is somebody who is part of this conversation is because Kevin Samuels died, Tate became the next guy, and then Tate got arrested. And I don't know if you saw it, but Sneako's pretty proud of the time that he was on air on the phone with Tristan. And Tristan's like, I'm handing off the baton to you, sir. You're now the god. And he's like 23. He's like, oh man, I'm the guy now. I have to do this. And talk about audience capture. This is exactly what happened to this kid. If you don't remember who Sneako was 3-5 years ago, he was a thoughtful video essay kind of guy. And he kind of moved into that 1 minute podcast thing where he still got it back here. We would actually go into the subway and talk to people about, hard hitting issues and, just get a little, be 1 minute podcast. But in that 1 minute, he got people to open up. And this is exactly what I mean about the people who are benefiting or not benefiting. Both of these guys are now useless to anybody. Unwanted Foe said, Myron is way too much like Sneeko, and Sneeko is way too much like the bad side of Tate. Bingo! Well said. Well said, sir. Well said. Nick says, if we are willing to be there for each other and share our knowledge and experience, we will do better that way than any other way. Again, well said, guys. And this is exactly my point. This is exactly my point. We don't need some type of church of manhood to understand these things. We just need to be men together. We just need to have our own communities about everything. And this is part of our lives. So I'm doing everything I can to build a community here with you guys, and I'm very happy with how that's been going. And we talk about the red pill type issues all the time. But we talk a lot about politics. We talk a lot about other stuff too, because it's all important. And I don't think that this is as important as this is. I don't think it's more important than learning how to balance a checkbook. I don't think it's more important than understanding what's going on in Ukraine. I don't think it's more important than understanding why we don't want drag queens in school. All of these things are maybe not equally important, but the importance of understanding them are equally important. It's all together. So highlighting this fact about it needs to be about men and men only, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't have men specifically in mind while the rest of society only has women and gays in mind. I'm just saying, like what Nick is saying, we just need our bros.
Even though it wasn't very surprising, being that he had made some racist commentary on his channel in the past. Racist commentary that I called out. So maybe it's me. Maybe you don't have a problem. Anybody in the chat have a problem with this fresh and fit guy insinuating that Preach is an ape?
So, and I mean, he goes into that. We're not going to, I just want to skip through a little bit because I definitely want you guys to go check out what he said because it's so well said. And I want you to hear it from him. But we know about all the stuff that has gone on. And exactly what I'm talking about. The fact that somebody as high value, and I say that in quotes, not because a lead attorney is not high value, but because that's just a term within. But he is a high value man to be dealing with these racist, kind of dumb, toxic dudes is not good. Like, yeah, it's good for content. But while he's talking about this, he's not talking to a man who's going through a divorce and needs some advice on what to do with this, that, the other. That's really my point with that. Shout out to the Free Ego. Welcome to the party. And we got Land Jaeger Bastard. Welcome to the party, guys. Land Jaeger says, I'd rather know the truth than want to be shielded with censorship because of racism. Well, that I definitely agree with. Like I said, this is not about saying that they should have been taken off the air, that I wanted them to be taken off the air or demonetized. They're not taken off the air. It's not about celebrating anything. This is not a good thing. But it is a good thing to be able to see something that's not good. Somebody being, I mean, I guess, again, they're not even banned. They're just demonetized. And if you break the rules, I mean, it is what it is. But it's bad for them. So let's just say we can take this a thing that's bad for them and learn from it. I say we've just gotten so far away from the days when the red pill was something at least the women didn't understand it, but at least was respectable because we talked about what Kevin Samuels was talking about. We were talking about building families. We were talking about what are you going to do in your future? Not how do you bang it out on the first date, which is, not information that I don't necessarily want to talk about. But if that's your whole thing, then you're not helping young men. Shout out to Guamtech. Welcome, buddy. Good to see ya. Wanted Foe said, but you get demonetized and you don't break the rules. YouTube is high AF. I mean, what do you mean they didn't break the rules? They definitely broke the rules. Oh, if you're not, all right, we can definitely play more of this. You're not familiar with how they broke the rules.
Chimp. You know, there was this video on Reddit
not
where
talking
this
about the
white guy,
racism.
this racist guy, was calling this dude the N-word. And he was like, I was like, shit, he's for real. But I also want you to notice the visual, the way he's doing his arms like an ape. And I want you to notice a few points. And this is a short clip, guys.
Pop and you licked her at your fucking wedding.
We should fly her up, bro.
Weirdo.
Hey yo, we should fly her up.
Guaranteed. Flew out.
Oh, gotcha.
Flew out. You may guess the bride. This don't matter. I love you. I love you. I love you.
And let's remind ourselves that this is not a black man. This is some Arab something type of dude. And I mean, why does he just get a pass like that? Why are we not saying, hey, like, that's not cool? We don't need to cry about it, but that's not cool. And he's using, you know, he just throws the N-word around everywhere. And it's just, why do we need this? Why do we need this? Somebody tell me why we need a community like this. If this is possible, this is, I mean, think about how I talk about religion. There's so many good things within Christianity. There's so many good things, amazing things. But there's also a lot of BS. So why do we need to be part of a church? Why do we need to be part of a religion? Why can't we just understand what's good about those values and take them? Exactly the same with the red pill. What is the difference? Absolutely. They are jokers. Jokers.
I love you. You're making them dumbass faces.
So, you know, they went through all this.
We fucking help guys make money. We help guys get in shape. We help men improve. What the fuck are you doing?
Would not wish.
So the big thing, though, was, you know, obviously, I'm not going to cry over racism. I think that racism is bad. You should not be racist. But, you know, I'm sorry, but that's not the biggest deal in the world to me. And I am a free speech advocate. And so if that's who you are, I'd rather you be out there like that. So I don't necessarily care about that in terms of the demonetization or whatever. Again, I don't think that is, you know, good role modelship, but it's neither here nor there. It's just kind of, you know, the cherry on top of the shit Sunday that has become the Manosphere. Unwanted Foe said Fresh should have told him to chill, but since Myron runs the show and Fresh is always second fiddle, that's because he doesn't have anything to offer except lies about threesomes and going and banging 1,000 girls. It's like, I mean, what are you doing? Landjaeger says in American foolish traditional racial system, they tend to still lump in multiple races as black that aren't really black. Don't get me started on that one. And that's kind of what I was alluding to earlier when I said, you know, this other group mentality. I've spoken openly about how I don't think that, you know, for black people to feel this fealty to the black community to your own detriment. I don't think that's a good way for anybody in the community to uplift themselves. But again, that's kind of a different conversation. But you're absolutely right, Landjaeger. It's lumping people in, whether we're talking about race or whether we're talking about the red pill or whether we're talking about religion. It's lumping in people that don't belong to be lumped in together. And then the people within that lump can be like, oh no, our lump is all about the good stuff. But the people outside the lump are like, well, it's just the bad stuff. Oh, are we losing Morty? We might be losing Morty. Nope, he's just readjusting. Morty is still in the building. Thank you, Landjaeger. Guantek says we need them to be a contrast to what real masculinity is. Andrew Tate versus Jordan Peterson. Fair enough. I'm totally down with that dichotomy existing and being part of the larger zeitgeist of what people are talking about. But that doesn't speak to us needing a particular red pill community, a manosphere. I don't think that we need that. I think that idea was great for the last 10 years. But now we're at a place where there's average people, like we're still fighting feminism, but feminism has really kind of, you know, fallen in terms of how seriously people take it. Just drop the link again if anybody wants to come on up. And I think that the Manosphere is just the men's version of feminism. Because even in feminism, for women, there's a lot of ideals about equality and so on and so forth that I totally agree with. But feminism as a whole, no. Ayush said, this is total beta behavior on display. Clapping hands and insults. Yep. Daniel says they're not role models. They're just preying on men and boys who are disenfranchised with the state of the world.
Bingo.
That is not what I want. That is not what I want to support. I don't want that to exist. And I'm not going to be the one to say, let's take these people off the air, because I do want those ideas out there so that the rest of us can be like, hey, don't do that. Not lead attorney. I'm talking about Fresh and Fit. Hey, look who we've got here. We have got my good friend and still on the screen, Daniel Cabrera. Welcome to the party, brother. What's good?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good. I really felt like I needed to come and talk to you guys about this.
Well, and I sincerely appreciate that, actually. It's one of those things that, you know, I can recall like about a month and a half ago. I mean, I thought it was hilarious when I first came across the Whatever podcast, but how many of those clips are basically the exact same thing?
Yep. And I mean, at least on the Whatever podcast, they try to bring in people who are going to have, you know, a varied perspective. Whereas Fresh and Fit would just bring on, you know, their friends. But also, it's just the same thing. And then I don't remember if I don't know if you saw it, but there was a clip going around from some like so like the Whatever podcast is like the Wish version of Fresh and Fit, and then they had another one, another podcast that was the Wish version of Whatever, and it was two dudes just like I think the clip was they were like, all right, everybody go around and rate the dudes in this room, me, the co-host, and the editor, and some girl was like, I think you're a 2. Was like, that's because you're a stupid bitch.
What?
It's like, dude, what? What? I mean, talk about black pill BS. Like, what is going on? Hey, shout out to Trey. Welcome, buddy. So the Kevin Samuels average at best video changed the manosphere and started downhill. So why do you think that is what started it downhill, though? Because I think that was, you know, near the peak where Kevin Samuels was getting to his peak. And I think the peak of Kevin Samuels, you know, May 4th, 2022, was so it's not 2 years. It was last year, right? So over a year and a half. I was saying 2 years before, but I don't know. I'm thinking the election 2024. But yeah, so it was last year, just over a year ago. Crazy. Ayush says Whatever podcast goes too far as well. Yep, and the other ones are even worse. So, Daniel, how did you get introduced to the Manosphere or the Red Pill community?
It kind of started really. I was watching Nick Rekieta. I got addicted after the to his streams, especially after the Rittenhouse trial, and it was right when all that Jack Murphy stuff was going down that I really became fully aware of all of this stuff. When yeah, pretty much. But yeah, the whole Jack Murphy thing where he's, you know, you got to raise your family right and this, that, and the other. You can't, you know, step out on your wife, and then come to find out he's on Chatterbait doing, you know, $69 for 69 and such. Oh my God.
And that's, I mean, and again, to draw parallels to religion, it's always, if you remember in the 90s, that when televangelism was the big thing, and how many, at least 85% of anybody who was ever a televangelist was super anti-gay, and then eventually something would come out about how they're doing crack with gay hookers. It's like, bro, then just do what you're doing. Why are you out here preaching this and not living this and acting like you're helping everybody?
Oh, I've got major issues with Hollywood overall. I mean, I had respect for some of those stars at one point, and then they, you know, all opened their mouth against the quote unquote "don't say gay" bill, and it's like, guys, you
being gay or not,
right? It's like, guys, your whole job is to read. You read what people write down. This whole bill is like 8 pages long. It's not hard, kids.
Yeah. It's crazy. Did you see what lead attorney said about all this?
No, I haven't. I was actually listening to it when you were playing it.
Word up. So I mean, he was kind of talking about the racist stuff with Abba and Preach, which I'm sure if you care about it, you know about it. But
Yeah.
there's exactly. So I skipped ahead a little bit, and this was really why Abba was like, "Yo, your channel's gonna get nuked."
This pain on anyone. Well, that's a lie. See, the trauma that Fresh and Fit is feeling right now, they tried to make other content creators feel that same trauma, that same pain just last year. How did they do that, you ask? Well, Fresh and Fit hired a $2 attorney and a 7-cent paralegal to
Got
spam
him.
out copyright strikes across all of the platform, targeting certain content creators. Fresh and Fit wanted these content creators to lose their monetization. They wanted these content creators to lose their entire channel. They wanted me, the lead, to lose my channel. They wanted me to feel that pain that they're crying about today. They hired that $2 attorney, and that $2 attorney put 10 copyright strikes against me. Let's take
10 copyright strikes. Do you guys
That's
know?
an attempt to obliterate a channel.
Yeah, I feel like we all know this, but does anybody not know how many strikes it takes to get your channel not demonetized like a Fresh and Fit, but nuked where you cannot post? Exactly 3. And on this one channel, 10 copyright strikes. That is an outright that's a carpet bombing. That is a carpet bombing.
And in some senses, if you don't actually have like the attorney or any legal know-how to go through it, that 10 will just nuke your channel because there's no way to appeal it.
Yep. And exactly, I want to follow. The copyright strike nonsense was so stupid and an obvious abuse of the strike system. So yeah, he's going to go a little bit more into that.
a look. This is what their attorney filed against me. Says, thank you for your submission. It is under review to ensure it's valid. Here is the information you filled out. Here we go. Copyright owner name, Fresh and Fit. Now, you only need 3 to lose your channel. And this guy hit me with 10. Each one of those 10 was fraudulent, and it was against YouTube's terms of service. Now,
it was fraudulent. So I can understand, this whole thing about like XQC and all the Twitch streamers stealing content and like Hassan and all them. That's kind of a hot conversation right now, but that is not at all what we were talking about. And I think he actually has the time codes in here as well.
Now, I rarely use Fresh and Fit's content. When I did, it was always under fair use. So imagine this $2 attorney tries to attack me. It could be true that I use their content, but I use their content 18 for 20 seconds. But
20 seconds.
Listen, if I use your content for 20 seconds, you better believe I'm using it under fair use. I'm a goddamn attorney. Are you kidding me? Oh, but YouTube already knew that attorney was on some BS. We are concerned that some of the information in your takedown request may be fraudulent. Please understand that YouTube receives a large amount of fraudulent copyright takedown results. And we take this abuse of that process very seriously. YouTube sent me the entire email chain of the correspondence that the YouTube team had with Fresh and Fit's attorney and that 7-cent paralegal. Guys, when I woke up to this shit here, boy, I was on this shit on my phone like, oh my God.
The bottom of the bottom.
Was scrolling, I was like, oh my God. The email chain showed that the YouTube team knew that those 10 copyright strikes against me were fraudulent.
Absolutely. And so that it was no like when you put all of it together, the demonetization it's like, how did this not happen earlier? Gonteg's like, I'm a goddamn attorney. Guys, if you are not following the lead attorney, you need to. Just invaluable. But yeah, you were talking about Rekieta and how you found the red pill space, Daniel.
But yeah, that was exactly how it was. Nick Rekieta was sitting down. I guess he was supposed to have Jack Murphy on at one point, and then some of the stuff started. No, it was that fucking explosion he had on
the last
that podcast with Sydney Wasson. Yeah, it was that one that. Yeah. It was that one that started his downfall, and Nick, of course, starts tearing that apart because you look like an idiot for wigging out that way. and he starts sending cease and desists. So Nick starts digging into it. And yeah, no, the chatterbait stuff comes up. His wife comes up. All that weird stuff. Just him. Oh, there was one weird one. It was him on a how do you put this? A phallical object sold in an adult store, and he's bouncing up and down on it.
Interesting. Interesting.
So yeah, that's how I discovered the red pill manosphere area was that entire situation.
And so who were your like while you were like if you who's your top three? Who's your top three red pill manosphere
I really don't follow them. I mean, the red pill type people. I mean, I used to be like hardcore into the internet, the YouTube drama area. So I mean, Augie, I still check out every here and there.
No, well, not
stuff
today.
like that.
When you were getting into it, who was it like? Oh yeah, I'm about this. Because again, if you are spending more than let's say 6 months really watching this stuff, then you've gone over.
I never really dove into it. I always thought it was kind of ridiculous. Like you guys are, you know, the whole alpha beta thing. You guys are really overplaying this entire thing.
Yep.
So I stayed away from it. I thought it was kind of stupid.
Okay, so you were just kind of you know, just watching whatever would come up. You weren't really following too closely. Yeah. And shout out to Zippy the Strange, says the manosphere is hard gay. I mean, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. So any film is asking about Jack Murphy. He was a you know, conservative commentator and doing his thing. He was on Tim Pool a lot. What do you mean? I was gonna say you're a Tim Pool fan. You know exactly who Jack Murphy is. You know exactly who Jack Murphy is, and if you don't, definitely go Google that. That's good for and a little actually.
I think the question's coming up because Tim just would not even engage with the subject.
Nope, and it's actually interesting because, like I said, I did buy Lead Attorney's live streaming course, which is again great, definitely money well spent. But I mentioned that I was very hesitant after, you know, paying money to Myron to just be yelled at and called an F slur. And like I told him, he was like, well, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, well, you know, at the time I had I didn't read your book podcast, but I just said, well, I have this podcast. And he jumps down my throat and he's like, a podcast? What are you going to tell? You're a little F and what are you going to be? I'm like, dude, it's a book podcast. What do you like? Chill out. Like, I'm calling you for help. Why what are we doing? And I then, you know, this is when Jack Murphy was on the scene, and I may or may not.
Oh no.
Join.
Oh no.
Liminal Order. 1 week before that podcast. And so that's why I was like, all right, you know, because a lot of the information, a lot of the advice, especially from Kevin Samuels, was that you have to invest in yourself. So I'm thinking, all right, you know, and then this is COVID. There's not a lot going on. I'm getting money coming in and all this. And so I'm like, okay, I want to better myself. So I go there. And then, like, you know, I'm like, all right, that's, you know, that didn't work out, but clearly they're not the top. And, you know, Jack Murphy was not in the red pill space. He was a political guy. And I was like, okay, the liminal order was you know, a legit thing that was established. And, but I joined, you know, I paid, it was like another like $300 to get in. There was monthly things, and to just be part of like the induction, there was a bunch of stuff that you had to do that it's like, wait a minute, I don't even know if you are any value to me. Why am I helping you with anything?
Because it's red pill Scientology.
Pretty much. I wanted to post said first Hillary and now this. Hey, look, I certainly am not afraid of the mistakes that I've made, the things that I've done. They've made me who I am, and you know, that's it is what it is. Unwanted Foe asked, does MTR or mediocre tutorials and reviews count as Manosphere? I would say yes. Are you familiar?
No.
All right. Well, let's. We got Trey back here. Welcome to the party, Trey. What is good?
How we doing today, gentlemen?
I'm good, brother.
A little bit of contemplative nature. What are you feeling about the demonetization of Fresh and Fit?
I I think a little too late.
Facts.
I've always had disdain for Fresh and Fit. I so they've always just come off as guys who didn't get girls in school or in college, and then they got some bread and was like, "Yeah, we're gonna run you women in the ground now." And that's pretty much how they came off. So I was never really big on them guys. So I was happy that it kind of happened.
Yeah, and so do you think that there is a future in this community that we're calling the red pill or the manosphere community?
Not anymore. I think the market got oversaturated. To my point earlier when I said the Kevin Samuels average at best video was kind of the start of the downfall, because I could say before that a lot of guys were heavy on helping men get their shit together, and that video did so good and so many views, and it pretty much catapulted Kev to where he was, that it pretty much turned into everybody just talking about women and women and women and women. And I think at that point, all the topics became stale, because at that point, y'all focused solely on women, and rightfully so, because the numbers were there. So if you're going to run a company and the numbers are showing that y'all like us dunking on women, then all right, this is what we're going to be doing.
And I mean, I hear that, but I still found a lot of value from Kevin talking to women, because again, it wasn't like he was let's do this for symmetry. It wasn't that, once he started talking to women, because if those of you who don't know, Kevin Samuels started out talking to men about men, all that kind of stuff. And I guess I didn't know if that specific that specific call where average at best, if that was the start of him being like, oh, I'm gonna just talk to women. I thought that he was already kind of doing that, but maybe it wasn't. I don't remember the timeline exactly. But even still, it wasn't this beat down on dumb women. It was beat down on dumb women so that you can help them get married. And that's a huge difference in my eyes.
Well, yeah, I think Kevin had the better blueprint of it. And I would say, like, I think Fresh and Fit. So I think what Fresh and Fit did was they took that to the young man's game. And the young dudes they're into the OnlyFans women. They're into, those type of women. So it made more sense for the younger guys to deal with the younger women, because Kevin was in his mid 50s. So he was talking to women in their late 30s, mid 30s, early 40s. So you were able to have more mature conversations with those women versus Fresh and Fit talking to women 28 and lower.
I've got a question on that though. Is it the fact that this generation is into the OnlyFans women, or is it the fact that this generation has been scared due to stuff like the Me Too movement? I mean, I didn't fully agree with everything that he was saying or anything like that. I liked Al Franken as a congressman. I think the way they got him off of the seat was trash. And that was all part of the Me Too movement. I mean, it was a picture of him basically going like this in front of a military person. She was knocked out, but from what I could see on the picture, he wasn't touching anybody. It was just, mimicking as, I'm grabbing your chest. But, they used that to get him off of Congress and stuff. And I think, some of that, really translated down to the kids.
I would say yes and no, only because I feel like a lot of these dudes. So I feel like most men are socially awkward, and you add in the internet and stuff, where they kind of get to see the best of the best. So I get to see the best of the best pretty much everywhere. I'm already socially awkward, and I can't, like, me personally, I couldn't handle rejection. Like, I had to grow into handling rejection. So, like, I would say for most men, them already being socially awkward, me too, and just being afraid to actually talk to women and getting rejected. Because, I mean, to be fair, women don't just be like, no, you're not my type, and keep it pushing. Some like to embarrass you. I've been illed before, So
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of different reasons, but I just think that a lot of young men were able because we're able to see so many beautiful women just by literally clicking on Instagram that that's what every man wants. Every man wants the 10. And then I think movies like Super Bad and Scott Pilgrim Saves the World and those type of movies were like the weird awkward dude, the weirdo was starting to get the beautiful woman and stuff. I think
That's a
that
good
also
point.
played a big part in it as well.
That's a
Well,
great point. That's a great. There was a whole slew of these movies from the Seth Rogen crew. What was it? Knocked Up was like
yeah.
2009. There was like you said, Superbad. What is it? The girl with the one with Jay Baruchel working at the airport. Molly. She's out of my league. That kind of thing. That's a good point. And so
Zach and Miri.
yeah, all those kind of things, and that spoke to a generation of the men that you're talking about, of social, being socially awkward and still feeling like, oh, okay, well, they're socially awkward, so I should be fine. But that's
Well, I think
the movies.
I think there's a level of that. I think also we've gone away from movies that taught us the heavy type of stuff. Think of the original Bad News Bears from like the 70s. They didn't win at the end of that. They went home and they learned that, yeah, we played hard, but somebody else played harder. But the whole point of the matter is, we played hard. We earned our spot here, and next year we can do better.
Right. So let me thank you, Nick. So that's a great point. Hadn't thought about that. I agree. The movies that kind of preempted a lot of that playing into it. So I want to come back to what Unwanted Vote was talking about. This is Just Pearly Things also greatly hit the manosphere. The recent BS she's done, and hate that I used to enjoy her content, and I feel exactly the same way. So let me ask you guys: do you think that if Kevin Samuels was alive, that there would be a Just Pearly Things that got to be what it was?
I can't say I'm fully aware of who Kevin Samuels is, so
The Godfather.
All right. Well, I want to go to you, Nick, and excuse me, I want to go to you, Trey, on that, and then, luckily, I have pulled up something from our boy Kevin Samuels, and it's not just sorry, Trey, what do you think about Just Pearly Things? I mean, not what do you think about Just Pearly Things, but in relation to Kevin's death.
I think definitely. I think without Kevin Samuels, there would be no Andrew Tate. There would be no Just Pearly Thing, because once he died, I just started noticing Andrew Tate everywhere, and then right after that, I noticed Just Pearly Things, and to a degree, I think Kevin kind of held everybody's feet to the fire because he had a very mature approach about everything. Even when he was being funny, like when he told the girl she's built like a linebacker, like right after that, he still gave her some very good advice. And
Exactly.
I think he held a lot of men in this this manosphere, quote unquote. He held their feet to the fire with giving real content and giving real things. Because I noticed even after that, it was about courses. Like Kevin had his consultations and stuff, but he never just was like, "Hey, sign up for my courses and this and that." So I think a lot of things kind of went haywire once he left.
Absolutely. All right. So Indie Film is here saying, I never even heard of Kevin Samuels except when you mentioned him. And then shout out to Nick Alexander. Welcome to the party, saying the same thing. So let's do this. I specifically.
Well, I just want to say real quick, it's kind of funny, Trey mentioned, Kevin's death, and then Andrew Tate pops up. I had no clue who he was either until, all the charges started dropping. 'Cause I don't pay attention to that. I'm one of those people, you operate on your own stuff. You don't really, you talk to a friend saying, hey, I got shot down for this reason. And your friend will look over and go, hey, okay, so next time you try this thought, that's it. You just talk to one of the homies. I've never gone to the internet for that.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the point that I'm driving at is that the men who are successful in life don't need to watch red pill content. It's the men that were like me that didn't know any better. And so if you're already that guy, then you kind of are not you might be speaking to what these guys want to hear. But again, we come back to even the fact that Kevin was harsh on these women. It was towards the end of getting them married and living happily. So I definitely want to show you guys something from Kevin. The channel put something out today, you know, just an old thing from you know, his channel. And we can check out some you know, compilations of him too. But I specifically want to center on something that is not about, you know, talking to women and telling her what she's doing wrong. But really quick, Unwanted Foe has a comment here saying, according to Just Pearly Things, she claims she took a course, took a lesson from Kevin. It's very possible part of that is what gave her the path to success.
Bingo.
That absolutely is. Along with buying the Lead Attorney's live streaming course, which again, is money well spent. If you're looking to do live stream, if you're just looking to do VODs, that's not like, you know, daily videos, that's not really for you. But like other people it'll be like $500 for like a 3-hour course. This man, the same price, 18 hours of content showing you exactly, you know, what you should do, how this stuff works. And again, can't say it enough. So not only did I buy his course, but for a while I was part of his YouTube mastermind, where I was learning from other YouTube creators kind of what, you know, just how to be a YouTuber. And, you know, he's not exactly like a lot of the people in that community weren't necessarily in the space that I'm in. So I got a lot of information, but in terms of the networking, it really wasn't my spot. But it certainly wasn't the mistake that was calling Fresh and Fit, or the mistake that was joining the liminal order. Shout out to Just a Cog in the Fuckery. Welcome to the party. So the Manosphere became, and the Red Pill became a grift space. Absolutely agree. All right, so let's check this out here. This was from today. Or well, it's not from today, but all right, I'm gonna move you since you ain't got a picture there. Let's see. Does it actually say when this is from? So I don't know exactly when this is from, but this is the kind of stuff that before, and in every single stream before he got to the women, he would have a monologue, and sometimes that would be an hour long, and it would be along the lines of something like this.
What is the point of increasing your value? Because increasing your value does two things primarily for guys. You increase your opportunities and you increase your options. So thank you to the Godfather for giving Tech a shout out. Yeah, because increasing your opportunities right now, there are people right now, the pandemic is making new millionaires.
This was obviously, you know, during the lockdown, and this is the importance of raising your value. Unwanted Foe said Kevin was very straightforward. He didn't sugarcoat and told you sugarcoat. Shout out to anybody who knows what sugarcoat is. And told you what you needed. It's worth watching his videos. For men, his earlier videos are him working with men. For women, the later shows. Well said.
Because they can't go into the office, and because they have a particular skill set that lends to them being able to work in this digital landscape and become more effective at a distance. So to all my introverts, understand something. If you listen to what I tell you and just learn some of the basic things about EQ, you can separate yourself from your coworkers and your competitors and fast track.
So good information so far, right?
That's what I did. That's what a lot of guys do. One of the key things in this whole high value thing is learning that you're going to have to sacrifice. Anywhere you go, you're going to have to invest in coaching. You're going to have to do crap jobs, work long hours, stop looking for the fast track, quick. You're going to have to worry about the long, slow, deferred gratification. All the things you hear, and anybody who's been successful will tell you.
So this is basically what what he's leaning up. But what I really want to show you is how he turned this into a way for normal people to understand. We have a couple questions here from Nick saying, was his death suspicious? How did he die? So he had a heart attack. And this glass here, that is not whiskey, that is Red Bull. This man was a Red Bull addict. And guys, do not drink those energy drinks. Please, please. There are people who want you on this earth, and they will take you too soon. Did I miss anything? Yeah, thank you. Oh, I didn't know that part. Hey, what a way to go. What a way to go. All right, so let's see. I just want to...
Well, I guess you just have to go back to the old joke on that one. At least the paramedics had a handle to carry him out on.
That's wild. That's a good one.
White.
All right, so he's saying, in my world, let me just back it up. Right here.
Things are very black and white, which makes gray.
So in my
which
world,
is what you
it's
see
about
me wear a
outcomes.
lot of times. Black, white, but most of the time you see me in a gray pinstripe suit. If you watch the Game of Thrones, I'm going to give you some ideas. Tywin Lannister, the House of Lannister, in the real world would have run that show.
Hell yeah.
J.R.R. Martin made that show to where, or the book to where he died. In the real world, they would have been the Medicis. They would have been the Roosevelts, the Rockefellers. They would have gone on and on and on. So I'm going to go into the alternate universe for the Lannisters.
So think about how immediately, he hasn't even said the thing yet. But he's not only taking pop culture, he's talking about Game of Thrones, and he's talking about world stuff with the Rockefellers and all that. He's tying so many things together, and just brilliance.
And I'm gonna make him black, because I'm black. I'm gonna make him black, and we're gonna call them the Lancasters. No, we just call them the Lannisters, and they can still be white. It doesn't matter. But here's the point: Tywin Lannister was never trying to be the king. He was concerned about power and influence. One thing that made Tywin powerful is he never sought the top job. Too many of you guys trying to be high value, you want to be the number one. You want to be a king, especially you black guys. You want to be the one out in front. And I'm sorry, the market gets to decide. The market gets to decide who's out in front, and there's only one lead singer. Think about the five heartbeats. Everybody's fighting over the microphone. No, you want to control. You want to own the studio and the music and the masters. Damn, own the microphone. There's always some new star. Be the hand behind the throne or the ear of power. Tywin Lannister would have gone on and on and on and on in the real world, and that's the OG.
Have you watched?
That's a truly.
And again, if you're not familiar with Game of Thrones, it's a lot of just like medieval politics type of stuff. But this is everybody watched Game of Thrones, so to be able to take something that a lot of people are just kind of watching, and to be able to then connect it to how you should be living your life in dating, and then connecting that to the powerful families, the Clintons, the Bezos, the Rockefeller, connecting all of this stuff together. And just speaking to men and saying, "Hey, do this, and you'll be good." So let's check out something, a little compilation of some of his most savage moments. So this is, after he would do his monologue, he'd bring up some women, and basically this is what he would do.
One of my videos, a 3-hour video from front to back.
That girl situation when he was ranking. That
Okay,
girl.
you're not paying attention.
When he was what? Talk to him.
Have you watched one of my videos? Have you watched a full video of mine from front to back? One of my live streams.
I just saw one video. Was it the whole? I think it was a whole video of some girl he was ranking her. He asked her what she ranked herself.
I have a full 3-hour show that I do.
Yeah. So every show, whenever a woman calls in, the first thing he would ask is, "How old are you? How much do you weigh? Or what is your dress size? And what would you rate yourself? Fresh face out of the shower, no makeup. You cannot choose 7." Because they all say, "Oh, I want to be, whatever." Hey, shout out to Free Tacos. I wish those emojis would show up, but I can see them in the YouTube chat. Thank you for coming through. What is good? Good to see you, brother.
And you watched a 7-minute clip I challenge you and your friend to go back to my channel and watch the full
So what is our
30-minute. Oh, now see,
So what is our-
I'm not going to do this. See, and this is the
asking you a
problem.
question.
But you haven't even responded to what I said. You haven't even watched the full video of where the excerpt was coming from, but your friend has the nerve to make a judgment that women have no problem judging men on partial information.
Stop
But when a man,
generalizing women, please.
and you women are acting just like so many women who get upset. You have little to no information. You're not willing to do the work.
To ask me certain questions, and what you're responding to, I'm responding back to it. So you're referring to past videos, but I'm referring to things that you're telling me now. But you don't even let me. You don't even let other people.
We're gonna find a better one.
You're asking me how old I am.
This
You're
one's gonna be better.
generalizing women.
Hold up.
I mean, if you're talking all races.
All right.
I'm asking about ranking, and what's the problem with ranking?
What's the problem with ranking?
I think I do agree that we rank everything in life. Women, I wouldn't say that we rank. I would use a different word. I think we categorize men, which may be a type of ranking. But I mean, so when you say ranking, are you referring to you're comparing them?
Yes.
To each other, or just to your standard?
Yeah. No, see, you're 32.
Mm-hmm.
You ever been married?
No.
Any children?
Not yet.
Well, when a man asks you to go out, you decide what man you give your information to and what man you don't give your information to. That's a ranking. How tall are you?
5'5".
5'5". Do you care if a man is only 5'6" when you dating?
Yes.
That's a ranking. The pause is a ranking. Y'all have
and this is what I'm wanting Bo was saying about just being straightforward.
Y'all got no problem with men. If a man was working and making $15 an hour, would you marry him and be with him for the rest of your life if that's all he was gonna make? Minimum $15. $37,000 is what the median income for a male in this country was. You'd be happily married to him and submit to him for a lifetime?
If he's married to me, that's gonna change. So
no. I said if he's just an average man. See, y'all all think they have the power. No. See, y'all all think they have the power of Thanos to make be not what it is. I said if a man was just an average earning man. See, the fact that you can't even.
I can't. You're right. I can't live off that because.
Sure, you can.
If anything were to happen, to me, and if he would have to take care of everything, I wouldn't be able to sustain. Like I would have to.
What do you mean you couldn't sustain? I mean, there are half the countries doing that.
That's life.
I mean, like
they think they're entitled to a man who's going to take care of them.
I would have to change some things. If we were living just off his income, I would have to change a lot.
Did you go to college?
I did.
Of course you did. I got a PhD.
Did your mother go to college?
She didn't.
Your father go to college? Did your father go to college?
He has a trade.
So your mother and father didn't go to college. They made you. And it's funny that the very people who come from nothing got so high of a standard for the next group of men.
All right, so let's fast forward. This is a whole thing. So let's just go to the, what is this? This is most replayed? All right, so let's go to number 2 and number 1. Let's see what we got. Oh, that was number. Oh, I forgot. Wait, oh my God, I forgot about this. Y'all know who Tommy Lahren is, right? The girl who was like the conservative firebrand kind of girl. I forgot that this happened. Oh my God. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. Let's do this.
Some of the misperceptions and misconceptions about some of the things I said in that video.
So that's her. And what she's responding to, or what she's talking about, is that she put out a video saying that, I'm so successful. Me and my friends are successful. If you're going to date us, you have to do this, that. And same kind of thing that we hear from all type of feminist entitlement. And then she decided to call in because I think she thought that it would go better than this. Oh, yes. This woman on Wanted Post says, yep, she is. That
I want to go through real quick.
A woman.
First and foremost, okay, I don't think all men are trash. And I also want to, again,
came in and shut this down.
Tommy Lauren
he's
is teaching black women a very valuable lesson. A very valuable lesson. What is that? You cannot just drag men and get away with it. The point I made is, notice Tommy's demeanor. Notice how she's coming in to fix this. She said all men are trash. That's what she said. All men are trash. She didn't edit anything. She doubled and tripled down. She was full of that because she didn't get any pushback. Why? Because this playbook had worked in the black community for 50 years. But see, the white community, other communities where they have family system, patriarchy, family values, if nothing else, they have seen what is happening in our community. What happens when you let this gender war take root? Men are pushing back.
Men are in fact pushing back. And so I want to put one more clip, the infamous clip of Average at Best is of course the number one here. But again, I want to point out that wasn't as exciting and sensationalized as you might find on an evening episode of Fresh and Fit. But so what? That's not what this is about. If you're trying to find happiness through family, then being entertained by drama is not, I mean, I guess it could, there's some byproduct, but that's not what's going to get you there. That's not what's going to get you there. Hey, shout out to Badass Stewie. Welcome to the party. Good to see ya. All right, so let's watch this last one and then dive back in. I really want to hear what you guys think, especially those who were not familiar with our boy here. All right,
I'm asking about ranking and what's the problem with ranking?
Want to again
came in and shut this shit.
Here we go.
What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up, 5, but when I put myself together, 6.
Okay.
There.
And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
And look at her. She's nobody had ever just said that to her before. Because it wasn't allowed before Kevin Samuels. You couldn't say stuff like that to women.
Did you, I mean, stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
All right, so they didn't get the actual line in there, but you guys get the point. That is who Kevin Samuels is. That is who Kevin Samuels was. He and again the notion that these women had free reign to think whatever they wanted. We absolutely needed something to combat that. The question that I have is that do we still need a community for that, or did Kevin do so much for men that we no longer need that community, that we can just take that information and share that amongst each other as men? What do you guys think?
A strict community itself, no. I don't think so. I think, it's hard to say it's going to happen, but I think, a lot of people who are disenfranchised or whatever else will end up finding spaces like this, where it's, more of a, I think the world is actually starting to walk away from a lot of the super vitriolic stuff on both sides of it. I mean, I think we've been so saturated in it for so long that we're kind of just done, overstimulated by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So where I mean, again, there's a lot of people like, I mean, obviously we're all here. So we all kind of see the value in, you know, talking about things in general and not hyper focusing on one issue. But there's a lot of people who were just yesterday or whatever their last day were sending in $100 super chats, $100 after I've seen $500 in super chats being sent to two men who get a room full of drunk college club girls because they can out argue them. Like, cool, bro. Loser. What about those men? Where are they going to be? Where do they go from here? Now, again, let's keep in mind that Fresh and Fit is not gone. They're just demonetized. But absolutely, when they're not making the kind of money that they are, they're not going to be putting in this kind of work. So where do you think those men go from here?
I think they just continue to make their own little spaces. Like, I would say that most of them are, what do you call it? Red pill rage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you kind of first figure out that, like, oh, wait a minute, this life isn't a Disney movie. Oh, wait, being nice to a girl isn't the best way to get her to like me. That realization. It's the same kind of thing that when a lot of people lose their faith in religion. There's that militant atheist phase because you're angry because you thought the world worked a certain way, and now you're mad that that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, so I think the part of the problem is that in most of them have done that. Like I think guys like MTR, Kevin Samuels, a few other guys like the roommates, I think they did real good on bringing men down from the red pill rage. Whereas I think guys like Rollo Tomassi, who by the way has been married for 26 years and clearly hates his wife, like they fester that anger. They thrive off of the young man being angry. So I think that they're going to continue to. I think they're just going to spread out to guys like Rollo Tomassi, Donovan Sharp, like those weirdo guys who just, I think they thrive off of just making these dudes stay in that rage because it's profitable. Like if I ain't gonna lie, like, motherfucker super chatting me $500 just to say women ain't shit, I'd probably do it too.
Right. I mean, you have to have a little bit of integrity. You have to have a little bit of actual desire to help men to not do that because it's just too easy.
Do you though?
Do you though?
Yeah, you definitely do.
You definitely do.
No, I think a lot of people are going to get lost for quite a little bit. You know, I mean, you already have the issue of porn addiction and low T count and all the rest of that. It's just a thing right now as it is. So I think there's a lot of people who are going to end up lost, and we're just going to have to see how we can, you know, see if they can even be fucking found at this point.
Well,
that's a good point.
Yeah. And I think that they contributed to that lostness because
absolutely.
If I
guaranteed.
If I'm constantly telling you that this group of women that I bring online is the example of what all women are, then you're going to even look at regular women side-eyed. And like I found red pill not because I couldn't get women. Like by the time I found red pill, I had my second child. So like it wasn't for me not getting women. It was me not understanding that you do have to have some financial stability. You do have to at least show that you are capable of being a man to actually, you know, get a woman. And that's how I bumped into red pill. And I found a lot of guys who were like more helpful in teaching you how to manage finances, on how to, like MTR taught me how to deal with anger and arguments and stuff. And then I noticed that switch after the Average at Best video that a lot of guys definitely went to this is women and this is how women do. For like 5 months straight, everybody was just doing reactions to Kevin Samuels videos. Mm-hmm. And they like, so I noticed that, and I just think that we have to get back to that, teaching young men that, hey, this is what you know, this is what it is. But to be fair to those guys too, like even Fresh and Fit said it, our regular videos when we are doing Money Mondays don't get nowhere near the views of the late night show. So
Yeah.
I'm doing Money Mondays, teaching you how to get money and teaching you how to do your credit. But you won't watch that. You'd rather just watch the video of me dunking on these OnlyFans women.
Well,
but then you'll go subscribe to them.
Well, I'll tell you exactly why. Because I was one of those people who was like, okay, yeah, and the night show is fun, but like I want to like learn how to be a better man. So they would have a show on finances, and it's a 2-hour. It would be, let's say, it's a 2-hour stream. They spend half the time reading super chats. They have some super basic entry level, like, yo, you gotta diversify. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. And then you remember when they would put the hoods on and be like, you Ninja Watchers, make sure you subscribe. That's half the show. There would be about 15 minutes within 2 to 2.5 hours of a podcast. So there's a reason that people were not watching those podcasts. It's not because there was no appetite for that type of content. It's just that they weren't good at delivering that type of content.
Okay, that's fair enough. I can definitely accept that. I just think and then we've created so many subgroups of it: red pill, MGTOW, black pill. Like all of this is
come back to this one thing.
It got weird for a while. Like it got really weird.
Well, I'm having issues getting my phone to charge, so I hate to say it, but I gotta go, Brack.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Anything you want to tell the people before you run out of here?
Swing by the Discord, guys. It's a great place to hang out.
Link in the description. Thank you
we're
so
gonna be
much,
kicking
brother.
it when this is over too.
Hell yeah. I'll hop back in the chat. Give me 1 minute. I'll be there.
All right. Peace out, brother. Thank you so much for coming up. And yeah, the fact that you bring that up is really important because we you know, I want to go back to what Guamtech was saying here. Is that again we do need that. But as Guamtech is saying here, we need men to create community amongst themselves and lead by example. Just one reason I started doing BJJ. A lot of men from all classes holding each other accountable and forcing you to do better. That is what we need. It doesn't need to be this club. It doesn't need to be this identity. That's the entire issue that we have with like the trans community. People like myself who are against religion, but very much have a lot of good things to say about Christian values. Like, why can't we just take the values and leave the ideology out of it? And I think all across the board, red pill, whether it's anything, these are it's all the same. It's all the same thing. Just find people who you can talk about lots of stuff, and make sure that you are in a group where when you're wrong about this thing, you have somebody else who knows a little bit better, and then when they're wrong about one thing, that you can help them out.
Well, I think part of the issue is the age groups, because I was lucky enough that I hung with older people. So like with me being 20, I was hanging with like 24, 25-year-olds. So I most of it becomes an echo chamber to a degree. Absolutely. Like if I'm sitting on a show with 1,000 people watching and we're all saying, yeah, these hoes ain't shit, then you feel validated in that because now you have about 2,000 people agreeing with what you agree with. And then it doesn't make it no better that I literally bring the worst examples of women I can find and place them in front of you and be like, this is women's nature. Like that'd be no different than like, I heard there's a thing called pink pill. I didn't even know this existed. This is women.
What?
That women like. I guess it's like the women version of red pill. So
they already have feminism. They need more. Come on.
I don't know, but they it's basically them bringing on like the jock that peaked in high school and now he doesn't know what to do with himself, and they're showing like, you know, this is all example of guys, or they'll bring in like fucking thugs and shit, like niggas that sell drugs and stuff, and be like, this is all the example of guys. Yeah, so I mean, it's we show the worst of the worst and be like, this is the nature of everybody, then it does create that vacuum that goes crazy.
Well said. Well said. So I mean, so let me ask, with you having a little bit more familiarity with some of the better creators in the space, like MTR, you know, I do think he has a good head on his shoulders. I mean, again, when it comes to his content, you're not going to find once you've watched, let's say, even 5 of his videos, they're good videos. there's information in there. But especially lately, ever since I've known of MTR, he's been the React guy. I know that he used to do live streams and stuff. So I take it on the people who were watching those, that those were really valuable. But now, and I mean, he's earned it being up at that level where he'll just find 3 TikToks and just play the TikToks and be like, this is why women better, and say the same thing every day. But it is what it is. You're just saying the same thing. Hey, look, here's another example of this thing that I showed you yesterday. Here, another example of the thing that I showed you yesterday. Here, another example of the thing that I'm going to show you tomorrow.
But the sad part about it is they keep getting the money and the views from it, so it doesn't incentivize them to change. Now I just need to find a new way to word this argument, and that is the sad part. Like, that's why I say I think guys like Kevin Samuels, the roommates, MTR before he switched to just being heavy on women, the lead attorney. Like, I used to watch, like, a lead attorney used to have live streams about child support. I'm on child support for my oldest son, and that helped me out a lot and made me learn the actual child support system in Texas. So, you know, that was like a lot of information. Like, that's why, like, one of the first things we talked about, I was like, you know, we don't teach child support properly to men. Like, you know, there are plenty of programs for men and things that actually help them in that system. So I think once men seen the money that they could make from just dunking on women, it was like, well, continue to help men and maybe do good, or do this and make damn near millions.
Bank. Yeah. And again, that's a good point that you bring up about how, you know, we need, if there is going to be this group, that we need people who are going to regulate. And again, shout out to the lead attorney for being one of, again, he calls himself Purple Pill, because, like, he loves relationships. He's a relationship guy. He don't like the casual thing. You know, he's all about marriage and family, despite the fact that he's a divorce attorney, which is a strong statement that it's like, wow, you have spent 20 years watching marriages at their worst, and yet you still believe in this, even having been divorced himself. I mean, it's just, you can't overstate the value of somebody who is going to, you know, not only give you good information, but show you where seemingly good information might not be a great information.
Well, it's gotten so bad to the point where they even contradict themselves, because even if we go to the beginning of Red Pill, at least the 2020 version of Red Pill, you know, a lot of them were preaching the nuclear family and we need families back. That's what's wrong. To looking at it today and they tell you rack up body counts. Like, I literally,
she ain't fucking on the first date. She ain't worth it.
Yo, and you're literally, so you're calling a woman with a high body count a hoe. But you're also saying if she doesn't smash on the first date, she's not worth your time. That doesn't even make sense.
Yep. Yeah, and what's suppose, like, I get to vent my frustrations and annoying memories that involve women and make millions just from that. Where do I sign up? YouTube.com. Or, hey, we are streaming live on Kick right now, so you can do it on Kick. You can say it even more. But yeah, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. You can just say whatever you want.
It's very tempting. Like, I thought about making a podcast with, like, a super red pill guy, a super blue pill guy, and then a neutral guy, and just, like, every day we just argue about it. But
I'd be down for that. Let me know. I'll be the middle guy. I feel like I would be a good middle guy, because I'm definitely red pill.
Then,
but
I was over it myself. Like, legit, by the second week of, like, going down the red pill rabbit hole or Manosphere rabbit hole, I was like, oh, y'all dudes need some pussy. Like, y'all legit need a loving. Like, Kevin Samuels said in one of his videos, he was like, have you never had the loving touch of a woman? Like, have you, like, not had a woman rub your back when you got home from a long day of work? Like, I'm getting married soon. Like, I remember one of the first things when we moved in together, I came home to a cooked meal every day. Like, when I was in the hospital for my brain surgery, she literally, once she got off work, she was there till, you know, visitation was basically over for the day. So it's those type of things where it's like, yo, it's out there, but you looking at OnlyFans women ain't gonna be the example of the women out there.
Not at all. Welcome, Guang. You're getting a little. Oh, okay. There's a little chirping. I don't know if it's feedback or whatever, but whatever. But I don't think it's that bad. How you doing, brother?
I think it's the Chris outside. Yo,
Oh,
what's
it's
up,
real
guys?
crickets. Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was feedback. No, we good. We good. How you doing, brother? What do you think about all this?
Man, it's crazy. Like, so I was talking to my wife, and she ended up bringing up a good point that it seems like so many people end up going online to get all these answers and everything. After I put in that comment talking about like why I joined BJJ, you're around a lot of other men, around a lot of other people who are all trying to better themselves. They're all trying to do something and hold themselves accountable. But she brought up a good point in saying, like, where do we have it in normal life nowadays where you can actually do that? Because maybe church, you might have church, but kind of like what you were saying, like, why do you got to bring the church into it? So like, I just wanted to ask you guys, and maybe bring it up on the channel, where do we have it in our normal everyday lives now where we can actually get people holding us accountable and having higher values like that?
We don't. And
I think you just got to do it with like me personally. I did it with my friends. Like, I found friends of substance, friends that were actually doing shit with their lives. Even my friends that, like, I've had friends that don't do shit with their lives, but they seen potential in me and was like, bro, you're better than that. So, like, I think at a certain point, we have to just all be men. Like, we have to, hold each other accountable. Like, if I see Lutch doing something, like, remember, like, early Lutch, like, when I first found his stream, he was like, he was a sarcastic little prick. And
you think I'm sarcastic now?
And one day we had like a conversation in Discord about it, and I was like, yo, sometimes you go over the top with it. Like, you get very dismissive about it. And he took that information and he did better with it. And, I tell him every time, we talk about it, like, yo, you got a lot better from where you were to now. And that's just like a little simple version of it. Like, I just think that we need to actually have friends who hold each other accountable now. And just actually in this cult, like this generation, they have any time that you feel like you're critiquing them, you're a hater. And I think that's been the biggest downfall of it all.
Absolutely. Shout out to M169 in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Says, welcome to the consequences of the sexual revolution. Yep. And so Guamtech asked about, like, where do we have these spaces anymore? We don't. And so we have to build them. And that is it. The entire platform of this channel is that we need to build a space that doesn't have to conflict with religion, but it doesn't rely on religion. Because there's too much of us, saying that, oh, you need God, you need God. And I agree with the sentiment, but I've spent 20 years trying to get closer to God, trying to, as a full believing Christian, never could have even thought that there could be such a thing of no God. That didn't even enter my mind until, maybe I had doubts here and there, but I was full on Christian until I actually really started digging in, instead of just, listening at Sunday school, listening at CCD, listening at church. And that's what took me away from it. And I have no desire to take religion away from anybody. But, as, we were talking about with Peter Boghossian on when he was here. If you didn't see that, definitely go check that out. A great conversation there. And we were talking about how I completely forgot what I was going to say. But the substitution theory, about how if you don't have something that is like religion, you're going to find something else to be dogmatic about. Real quick, we got our first person from Kick. Psychosis says sexual revolution. Religion is spirituality corrupted by man, not one on the earth walks God's path. They all corrupt it for their own greed and power. Spirituality and community are the paths of a religious man. I apologize that I can't pull them up. Take that up with StreamYard. Hopefully they'll be doing that soon. But welcome to the party, psychos. I definitely agree with that. But I think the main go Morty. Jesus Christ, this dog. The main thing.
Question.
What's that?
When are we considering the sexual revolution?
You know, the 60s with feminism and all that good stuff. You know, when the bra burning generation, the second wave feminism. So the first wave feminism was the suffragettes trying to get the vote. Then they got the vote, and then they were like, okay, what else can we get with all this? And all right, they want to be treated equally in society. Fair, you know, you're equal under the law, but you know, you also should be able to go to work without, you know, having your ass grabbed and being called a sweetheart if you don't want it. Da, 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 da. And obviously, that's gone way too far with third wave feminism. But it's not that we want to withhold these things from women, but it just seemed like giving them this, you know, give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And I mean, again, I don't necessarily want to be too harsh on women in general, because we have to understand the dynamic of so many of these women today are victims and of the ideology, and they're not the ones pushing it. They do perpetuate it, but that's because, again, they think that's all there is. Like Jessica saying, a lot of young women think they have to put out quickly to keep a man. And where does that come from? Where does that come from? You can't go under there, Morty. He's trying to come under the.
I only asked that because I think that's one of the things that I think we as men play a bigger role in than we think.
How do you mean?
Just the simple fact of we like that to a degree. Not every man, but I would say if we're just gonna like throw out, and this is just me pulling like a percentage out my ass, I would say about 40 to 50% of the men, they're helping perpetuate this whole sexual revolution, because again, you hear guys say, if she's not sleeping on the first night, then you know she's not worth your time. So to a degree, I think we have kind of made that a thing where like, oh, I'm not gonna date the virgin because she's not gonna let me hit, but I'll date the school hoe because I know I can fuck. So I mean, to a degree, I think we have made that justice worse than we take the blame for, if that makes sense.
And thoughts, Glontek?
Just wondering, how old are you, Trey?
I'm 30.
30?
31.
Okay.
Sorry, I just turned 31.
So,
getting used to it.
Nice. So I'm 30. Yeah, I'm 37 and stuff, and I think our generation probably came up at a time too where like we were starting to move in that direction of, you know, kind of, I guess, looking for the lady that was going to put out, I guess, right? So, but you know, if you also want to think about it, this has been brought up in a lot of other kind of, I don't know if you want to call them red pill or manosphere stuff, but you know, the birth control pill. Women don't seem to have quite as many consequences now from being able to sleep around. So I think it's kind of started to shift from, yeah, maybe it was what men wanted and stuff like that. But, you know, let's be honest, that's what men wanted all the time anyway, from the beginning of time, you know? So, but now it's kind of moved on from that to, I feel like women are able to make that choice on their own. So as far as that goes, it's kind of hard to think about how you might be able to change that. And I do think it does, again, start coming from values. But I'll go right back to my other question when it came to men, but flip it on its head for women. Where do women go to be able to find those values? Who do they look up to? You know, there's plenty of people on YouTube, people like Lauren Chen, I guess, if you want to use her. You know, there's a lot of examples. I can't think of any right off my head right now, but how much of an impact are they really having?
I mean, it's a good question, because I don't think, you know, especially like you know, I follow Lauren Chen pretty closely, and it's not like she is out here trying to be a Just Pearly Things or a Roma Army, and I don't need that. I don't need that. Like we were, you know, Amanda the Meme Maker. She's in Discord and talking a lot about, you know, turf stuff. because she's not down with the trans stuff just as much as we are, but because she identifies as a feminist, because she is in that world and she is focused on how and I apologize if I'm putting words in her mouth, but from my understanding, that she is focused on the woman aspect of or the female aspect. If we need to, unfortunately, we need to talk about that. And it is multifaceted, and we need people to be able to speak to these different facets, the different needs that people have of even if it's just dating. Like dating is a big umbrella. So Psycho says, where did I leave off here? The new societal efforts to destroy women are a testament to that. That biology gives zero-ish about your feelings. Said, I'm 53. When I was coming up, it was woman to breed. Midwest kids up until recently were the same as their parents. Build a workforce. Well, yeah, but then you see, with the globalization of these ideas through the internet, it don't matter where you are anymore. There might be regional stuff, but in general, it's not even nationwide. It's worldwide. And it's just crazy. Let's get some comments here. Indie Film said, men and women need to stop looking for their next partner and instead look for their last partner. I like that. And so does Just a Cog. M169 said, damn, I wish I could jump on just on my lunch break at work. Thankful that I'm in a marriage where trust was developed to keep each other happy. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And I mean, that's really what it's all about, right? Like we try to complicate these things so much, but at the end of the day, if you just find somebody who, and I mean, obviously easier said than done, but it's simple. And even, for those of you who don't know, I am a dog trainer. And when I talk to clients, one thing that I say often is that I like to separate simple and easy. Everything that we're going to go over has to be simple enough for your brand new puppy to be able to understand it. So all of it's going to be simple. That does not mean that it's going to be easy. And so what we're talking about of understanding these things, it's simple in the manner that we just need to talk to each other. We need to understand each other. We need to be able to understand each other's experiences specifically because we can't experience them, so that we have a better understanding and get deeper and deeper and deeper into that conversation. And when that's not allowed to happen because it's just about dunking on women or dunking on men, then it doesn't get us anywhere. You know what I mean?
And I also actually had to say something about that find your last partner comment.
Yeah, let me put that up.
Do you think that we're actually in a place in society, or that it was actually ever established that like we've moved on past your last partner thinking? So like when I was growing up, that was all I wanted. As a man, I just wanted the girl I can come home to, the girl that's going to, love me for being me. I never thought about being a player. I never thought about going out there and looking for other women and stuff like that. Cause like I could barely get what I could get, but I've held on to that.
Me too.
Right. So I held on to that for such a long time. And I'm trying to even think about it. Like, where did that get instilled in me? My parents actually split up when I was pretty young. So like, I don't know if maybe that was it, but like, I've always been in a household with two parents. I'm wondering if maybe that's part of what can be the solution to that, to get people to see that two people by each other raising a family is where it needs to be. Maybe not even at raising a family, but just seeing that like you can be companions to each other. You can be, what would the word be? You can complement each other.
Exactly. And
that's we are basically, like we're naturally supposed to come together like puzzle pieces.
Exactly. Well said. And that's exactly it.
What was Jordan Peterson say? He basically two people coming together.
Depends on what we're talking about. Sorry.
So, right. He says like two people are basically two crazy people who are not really a whole person until they come together.
Yeah, and I think that thinking is like you're saying, it's going away. I don't think that it is necessarily gone, because I don't think this lifestyle of hot girl summer up until your 60s. I don't think that's going to last. And so we don't really have we're only just now approaching the generation of the Gen Xers who were all about that, and now they're aging out, and it's like a lot of the millennial women like my age are starting to see like, oh, okay, a lot of them are not, but this is part of, when I talk about like, well, okay, let's see what Gen Z is going to be like when they're 30 versus the millennials are when we were 30.
So,
And I have a little bit of faith, after, all of COVID and all this trans stuff. I don't know about it so much anymore, but they will definitely be able to see the millennial women who are 65 and single and still trying to date and all that. And I have to hope that they're not looking for that.
So I would say not necessarily that everybody's looking for their that ideal is going away, that everybody's not looking for their last partner. I would say that most people are looking for the perfect partner. So I think that like because in this might be, I don't think this is controversial, but this might be a hot take. I think dads are part of the problem.
Ooh, dads are part of the problem. Hot take. How are dads part of the problem?
Because I mean, I found myself doing it too. That there are certain things that I say to my daughters that, like, if a man can't do this, or if a man won't do this, or a man is supposed to do this. But a lot of them teach their daughters that, if the man can't do everything, or if a man can't do anything better than me, then you shouldn't be talking to that man, or you shouldn't be dating that man. Not realizing that, you have to go through your 20s and kind of learn how to be a man as well, and things like that. So I mean, like, even though my oldest daughter is 7, like, I do find myself kind of saying things to her now, like, if a man can't do this, then that shouldn't be a man you're talking to. So I do think to a degree dads have played a problem in it, because they almost sell their daughter on finding the perfect man. And
Nobody's good enough for my princess, right?
Yeah, like I remember talking to a chick, and no disrespect to her, she was actually very cool, but she would always bring up her dad. Like, my dad said, if a man can't do this, my dad this, my dad that, and my dad is this, and my dad is that. And if I got a man, then I shouldn't need my dad. And it's like, but did you ever ask your mom how your dad was when they were in their 20s? Like, no disrespect to you, but your dad cheated on his wife and had you. So, there's a lot of issues that even your dad had as a younger man that I don't think you know about. So I think that if we were to kind of slow down a little bit of this, trying to teach our daughter to find the proper, instead of finding the perfect partner and finding a good partner, or a partner that is actually trying to become a man and is willing
That's
to
settling. I don't need to settle. I'm a 10.
No, you're not.
I mean, it's just not a good way. So I figured out a little a cheat code here for our Kick viewers. I'll just copy and paste the comment. So Psycho says, I'm married 24 years now. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations. Says, I have friends who are still single in their 50s. They hate life right now. A couple of my close buddies have resolved to just rent women. And, that's certainly an option. And I mean, for some people, it might be a reasonable option. But by and large, most people want to find, somebody they can settle down with. And even if they're not going to find the perfect partner, you want to find the partner who's perfect for you. They're not going to be a perfect person. As Undermont Foe is saying here, perfect doesn't exist. All we want is compatibility.
So I would actually add on to what Trey said about, like, dads telling their daughters, find the perfect man, find the perfect man. Maybe another way of being able to look at it would be to start teaching your daughters, mine included, how do you make yourself so wantable that you help the man become perfect?
Ooh, I like that. I like that. And that right there is something that you would never hear on Fresh and Fit. You very likely could hear something in that range on a maybe an MTR, definitely on Kevin Samuels, certainly with a lead attorney, and the bottom line being, I personally, I don't think that we need this community anymore. I think the ideas are out there enough that if we create our own communities based on not just this line of thinking, but the notion of being able to discuss politics, being able to discuss sports, being able to discuss whatever else. Those are the communities that we want. We don't want these hyper focused communities on one thing, because that's how it gets polarized. That's how you get into this black pill MGTOW kind of thing. And I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's the best thing. Let's grab some of these real quick. Nick says relationships are work. If you're not willing to put in the effort, you will not get anything but stress and a life you hate. Well said. M169 saying great point to that. Psychos over on Kick says, I tell my daughters, remember, I'm well trained and appropriately armed. They better be gentlemen by my standards and an equal partner in your endeavors. There we go. We got a good father in the house. I mean, not to say that you guys aren't. I'm just saying this is a good parenting right there, and that's what we need. We need the community to be strong enough that it's not just you have to depend on your father saying the right thing, that you're dependent on, meeting the right guy, that you're dependent on the perfect guy, that you're not all these things, that it doesn't have to be perfect, that perfect doesn't exist, but all things are good enough that there's no reason that you should be unhappy with the situation that you're in. Welcome to the party, Mia Aguilar. Welcome. Said marriages or couples are successful by working through problems. Everyone always thinks it's greener on the other side. Absolutely. That's the dating app type of mentality, is that you're just able to, always swipe to the next person. And it's just not good. It's just not good. Psychos over on Kick says, now my boys, I told them to find the one that is rich, smart, and has a life that scares you shitless. You'll be fine from there. And I think you and he says no children till 30. That's a good one. That one I definitely agree with. This one, rich. I don't know if I agree with that. Rich women are more entitled because they're rich, and they don't realize that we don't care that you're rich.
I could use a sugar mama. I ain't gonna start.
I mean, I would take it too. For sure.
Well, speaking of relationships and kids and everything, I'm going to get back to mine. So I just wanted to say, take it easy, guys. Good talking with you.
Already, my man. Peace out.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming up. Anything, any last words to the people? Any social media, any channels or anything you want to shout out?
Nah.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, and we will. I'm sure we'll be in touch again. And of course, you're in the Discord server, which everybody should join because the party never ends. Thank you so much for coming up, brother. Really do appreciate it. Peace out. So Trey, let's pull this and tie a bow around this. So do you think that it is a good thing? Not in terms of censorship and all that stuff, but the fact that Fresh and Fit is no longer able to make money from their content on YouTube. Do you think that is going to have a positive effect on society at large?
Yes. I'll say yeah. I'll go with yes, mainly because, this is something that we've kind of had these conversations about before, is that, everybody just kind of gets a little happy-go-lucky with their words and feel like they can say whatever they want without consequences. And to a degree, we've allowed Fresh and Fit to push the boundaries a lot. Like, we've allowed them to get their shit off a lot. And I think we forget that YouTube is still a private company, and they have to look at their bottom line more than anything. So if you're hurting their bottom line, then to a degree, they have to do what they have to do. So I just think that it's a wake-up call for a lot of content creators of, freedom of speech, say what you want, but also choose your words wisely, because there are a million ways to say what you want to say. You don't have to just go with the blatant, disrespectful way just because it's something you can do.
Well said, sir. Well said. And, speaking of good fathers, people out here really trying to understand you guys, you and Guam Tech, along with Psychos over here. It sounds bad when I say it. That's his name, Psychos. But you guys are, because I don't have children. And the way that Psychos over here is speaking about, not only what he's telling his daughters, but understanding there's a difference in how you speak to your son and your daughter, and then you guys paying attention to this stuff. I really applaud it. It takes a lot. Unfortunately, not every father is doing it. We would expect that it would be standard, but it's not. So when we see something that is above average, we definitely have to pay attention to it. So thank you for coming on up. Any last words for the people?
No real last words. Just take every day to be a better person in general, and I think that'll make the world a better place.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Thank you, brother. I will see you over in the Discord.
All right, my man. I'll let you in a few.
Peace. So, I did not expect to be going 2 hours on this. I was just going to do a short video so I didn't have to edit anything. I still have to record all my videos for the week. So I do want to just grab some of these comments and, respect your guys' time for being here, because you guys know how much I appreciate you guys being here. But the fact that you guys have so many thoughts about this really reinforces that I'm glad that I came and I did this live and I didn't just sit down and say something and then put it out there, because you guys have added so much to this. Unwanted Foe said, instead of perfect, look for someone whose issues you can live with. As weird as it is to say, it takes a lot for a person to change, so don't depend on that. Yeah, you have to be able to find somebody whose quirks that you appreciate, so that when inevitably, no matter how much you love somebody's quirks, there's going to be some shit that they do that you don't like. But there has to be enough there that you're willing to overlook that. Not that you begrudgingly overlook it, but you are willing to overlook it because you care so much about that person. Well said, sir. Daniel Cabrera is back saying, I think it'll be a good thing because it'll that Fresh and Fit are demonetized, because it'll make people actually start working on their content again, not just making fun of drunk bimbos. That's definitely true. Surprise stream. That's exactly right, guys. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, but I also go live whenever I feel like it. So if you've not already hit the subscribe button, do it, not just for you, but please for me. Oh man, that helps so much. Thank you so much. Get some good sleep there. So, I mean, that's really, what I just wanted to bring to you guys, that it's not, I'm not happy in the same way that the lead attorney was saying. I'm not here to celebrate that they got demonetized. I know how much work it goes into even building a channel of this size. And, I got some, my dad, I was talking about dating with my dad, and he was like, hey, you should, when we're talking about approaching girls, you should, here's what you should say. Hey, are you into podcasts? Because I have one. I was like, Dad, that is so cringe. That is so cringe. I don't even have 2,000 subs. And you want me to flex that? And like, he just doesn't know. But the world has changed that much that we really did need an updated ideology of how men are supposed to act, and it not being like, oh, you're a pickup artist, but this is just being a man. And I think that has happened. And I think now that there are the people who are open to this type of information. And then there's the people who are going to, the soy boy betas that on the other side who are just going to be like, oh, that's so toxic and blah, blah, I'm a feminist. Blah, blah, and they think that's going to get them laid. And then it's not. And then they're going to be the toxically masculine guys and all that stuff. But as long as we have communities like this, we don't need a specific community for dating. We should be bolstering whatever community you're part of. It should be built in to what it means to be a man in America today. And that goes for, wherever else, but certainly in America. So I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Big shout out to Unwanted Foe, and of course, the sponsor of the stream, Dr. Evil Genius. If you guys have not checked out the Talking Shit podcast, let me drop that link right now. They are another great channel. I was just on, where is this going? I was just on their channel yesterday. They do a live watch party for all the UFC fights, and we maybe be doing something like that, with UFC tomorrow. So stay tuned. Definitely hit the subscribe if you have not. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Like I said, I felt like I just needed to come and say something, and the fact that you guys came through, not only with the chat, but coming up and talking to me, it really made this a lot more than I thought it could be. So Nick is asking for if I'm going to be in Discord after. Right now, I'm not, because I expected just this to be like a 10-minute thing, and then I got to record the rest of my videos. So not tonight, but for every Monday, Wednesday, Friday stream, we do start at the same exact time, 8 p.m. Eastern, and after every single one of those, we go in for an after party, not just in the chat channels, but also in the video chat room, where you're not stuck behind your keyboard, but you're actually on screen with me and everybody else. If you have not already, I just dropped the link one more time. Please come and join us. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. This was more about me than it was about you. I needed to get some stuff off my chest, and thank you so much for allowing me to do that and giving me the platform to do that, where I'm not just, screaming out into the ether. So thank you again so much. Again, big shout out to Unwanted Foe and Dr. Evil Genius for parting with your hard-earned dollars. Please do not think that I do not acknowledge and appreciate that. It means the world to me. Thank you again, guys. Once again, this has been Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. just knocked his head, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.